Welcome to the Pineapple Pinup, the Hot Wife Life podcast. On today's podcast, I talk about a lazy weekend with just my husband. And then I talk about an email that I got from a listener who has a date coming up and some advice that I gave her. And then I talk about, something random. And I also really quick just want to wish my husband a very happy birthday. What can you do for fun on a lazy weekend when no one else has plans to play? Because there might be a religious holiday. Well, if you're my husband and I, you get creative. Let me see. So my day started with getting up late, which, if you know anything about working a 9-to-5 job and doing having a part-time job and then having a podcast involved with the lifestyle, you know that time is very, very hard to come by. And so getting up early in the morning to ensure that you have taken care of everything you've got to take care of is pretty standard. So on this Saturday, I got to sleep in. And McGurr, what a gift, okay? What a fucking gift. Sleeping in and being able to fully get rested and not have to worry about the stinking alarm clock going off and not have plans to be anywhere specific too terribly early in the morning is all such a gift. It's such a thing to be celebrated. So that was my morning. My morning was wake up late. So I got up and, of course, we had to take care of the dogs. And then I made a very nice breakfast with all the trimmings. And then I needed to go to the nail salon because anyone who knows me knows that my nails are a thing, okay? I keep my fingernails on and I keep them on point because if I don't, I have tiny little sausage fingers that look ridiculous. It does make things appear larger when I'm holding them without my fingernails. So that's the one thing that I have that is the benefit of having tiny little fingers. It makes everything you hold look so much bigger. Anyway, so I went and got my nails done. And while I was getting my nails done, and getting my nails done is a process, okay? Hours of sitting under someone else's control. Hours. And so while I was there, I received a text message from my husband. Now, text messages from my husband are not uncommon, but he sent a photo. And in this photo was my Lovense machine, 3 dildos varying in size, a bottle of lube, my Hitachi wand, and lingerie, laid out elegantly on my towel-covered bed. My husband had plans. He had plans for the day. So I, of course, did my best to rush home. So as soon as I got home, I ran upstairs and jumped in the shower, threw on, and I was putting on the lingerie when my husband could not wait any longer and came upstairs to join me. Now, the dildos ranged in size from, oh, he is so blessed, to, oh my God, you want to stick that where? Like, they were graduating, and one of them had his doctorate. He was that graduated. So I was ready. I was pumped up. I was like, oh. And my husband had been thinking about it for so long that he was like, me first. I want to see those cocks slopping around in some cum. So he fucked me and came all over, all over everything, like here and there. My husband does have this superpower where he can let come out incrementally. He doesn't have to give it all away. So he can actually last a very long time because he can relieve the pressure and then build it again. Relieve the pressure, like take the valve and just slightly open it and then close it down again. Very talented, my husband. So he was leaving cum everywhere so that it would look gooey and messy when the toys were playing with me. And of course, you can't play with those kinds of machines without really good lube. Lube is so important that I cannot stress it enough. And I think I may have mentioned it a time or two. And no one should ever feel shame or guilt about wanting to use lube. There are certain settings in my case where I will try to stop you from using lube. But if you need to use lube, then go ahead. But in this case, lube is essential. So there we are. He is so blessed. And my husband I'm pillow princessing the fuck out of this, okay? I am in my element, laid back on my pillow, enjoying the afternoon, enjoying the relaxation. I mean, for Christ's sake, somebody should be feeding me grapes with no skins at this point. So my husband is rearranging everything and making sure that I'm all set. And then he starts. And I have my wand. And my wand I use because exterior stimulation helps to relax all of the interior and helps to build all of the interior sensations. But it does allow a larger dick to be inserted, because I don't know if you know this or not, but dildos are different than regular dicks. They don't bend the same way. You can't feel the moisture level. You can't, that dick has a lot less feeling than a man's dick does. So it's really, he took very proper care of me, made sure that I had plenty of lube so that I wasn't getting burn marks. He was making sure that I was properly positioned. He was using the varying speed controls to turn the thing off and on. And it was awesome. And oh my God. Okay. So the He's So Blessed actually has a curve to it that slides right along the G-spot. Brings that shit straight to life. And I can actually push that one out when I need to release the waters. My husband is, of course, filming left and right. And putting these little vignettes up on our profile so that everyone can see me squirting all over the place. And it was epic. Some of the stuff I was doing, it was great. And I was having orgasm after orgasm after orgasm, and my husband is just fucking like loving it, like edging, like, gah. And then he would graduate me. He would graduate me to, oh, wow. And then, oh, wow, what is solid and straight and very, it's like a little bit bigger than a paper towel roll. It's very long, very straight, very solid material. And he used that, and I could feel the difference. I could feel the difference, and it was crazy. And of course, I'm still using my wand because, you know, if I'm going to have a day that is all about getting my pussy plowed for the sheer intent of having orgasms, I'm going to orgasm so much. And that one I could not push out. I couldn't, it was like, I would have to really struggle to get this one out because of the way that it was designed, a lot less pliable. And so I was going to have to get the waters out some other way, around the dick probably. So that one was more of a draining squirt than anything else. I don't know how it looked in the film, but I know that it drained more than it splashed. And it was awesome. I mean, seriously, orgasm after orgasm after orgasm. And then, excuse me, then he graduated to the, oh my God, you want to put that where? And I'm not kidding you. This thing is so thick. It is so long. It could be used in baseball practice, okay? This thing is so solid and so huge that it is almost like, I look at it and say, I don't understand where you're going to try to put that because it's too big. Now, my husband is, of course, lubing everything up, making sure that it is really, really as good to go as possible. And then he puts it in, and he puts it, and he gets it as deep as he can. Now, when I tell you I can take this baseball bat only about 4 inches, I'm being serious, because other than that, he's going to have to move my hip bones out. Like, he's going to have to realign the physical proportions of my body. So he's trying to get it in, and of course, there's so much lube, and it's only going in a very short depth, and then it pops out, and it slides along my asshole. And that is a shock to the system. Not because it's going in, but because it is making the motion like it's going to go in. And it is basically self-lubing my asshole. And like the fear that it is going to make penetration, it's real. So I'm like, every single time it happens, and my husband is giggling hilariously, and he is thinking it is the funniest thing. And then he goes, someday. And my entire being went, excuse me, what? I can't even understand what that sentence meant. Someday? I don't think so. I do not think so, because I don't ever want to be the kind of person who has a baseball stick up their ass. Okay? That's just like, even thinking about it is making me sweat a little bit. I mean, exactly what is it that you're trying to stretch me out for? Anyway, so it was fun. The last one was kind of short-lived, because its girth was too much. I can handle length, but I cannot, like, the girth. It, like, realigning my skeletal system to make room for something that's borderline for me. Okay, borderline. I'm like, maybe. But it was, but then my husband and I have so much fun giggling and laughing, and I'm orgasming, and I'm making a mess everywhere, and we are taking the time to share the experience together, find funny little things that make us laugh, make it memorable, give us both that feeling of effervescent joy. And it doesn't matter that it's toys. It is exactly what he's looking for. It is that watching someone else pleasure me until my pussy convulses and juices go everywhere. The only thing that makes it better is if that toy could come in me. That would be, and then my husband could throw that toy aside and slosh around in all that filth. So that's what happened next. He went ahead and took that reclaiming, and was very forceful and very energized by everything that he had seen and everything that he had watched my body do and everything that he had watched those toys do to my body. He was excited and ecstatic and showed me. And we fucked, and it was really, really good. And it was waterworks, and it was all the fun of being reclaimed. Now, after we finished playing for the afternoon, we decided that it was long afternoon. We were just going to go to dinner. And so we took care of the dogs, and then we headed off to dinner. And as soon as I got to dinner, Josh texted me. And Josh was wondering what I was up to. So I told him I had just gotten to dinner and that I would be probably ready. Give me an hour. And then my husband let me drink. He let me drink a strawberry margarita, frozen. And that is a little bit of a let's make her sleepy. So we finished up dinner and we went home, and I texted him that I'd gotten home. And then he said, okay, so I can probably be there in like an hour and a half. And I'm like, cool. And I fell asleep. I sat in the chair in the living room, and I fell asleep. Watching some silly thing on TV, out. And then woke up right before he was supposed to show up. And then I let him in. Now I am still slightly tipsy. Still a little bit warm and snuggly from sleeping. And yawning, which is so sexy. I mean, seriously, the one thing you want to see when you're about to fuck somebody and just, get in there and rock their world is them yawning. My husband gets so irritated if when we start fucking around, that if I start yawning, he's like, if you're too tired to do this. Well, it's not that. I'm not too tired. It's just my body's way of putting, like, it's natural. It's a natural reaction. And sometimes it happens because I feel safe and I feel comfortable. It's just something that naturally occurs. So anyway, my husband aside, this night I'm yawning, and I am, of course, I've just eaten, and there are all sorts of things about just eating that do not work well in this scenario. But I am a gamer. Never let it be said that I do not rise to the challenge. And I sucked his dick. I tried to deep throat him. I got as far as I could. And before I threw up, I stopped. like a gamer, God damn it. Anyway, I did. I sucked his dick, and I didn't have any of the problems that I always fear from having eaten and then going, and I didn't have all of those problems. And then he knew that I was tipsy, and so he's like, we'll just put you on your back, because it was absolutely pillow princess time at my house again. And he put me on my back, and he literally said, I can tell it's been a while because you are tight. Now, I swell when I get played with really rough, and when I get played with quite a bit, all of that swells. It gets soft and swollen and beautifully used. And that's what he was feeling. He was feeling beautifully used pussy. And he was actually dumbfounded, because in that beautifully used swollen pussy, I kung fu gripped his condom off. It's just something that happens. I mean, those muscles are activated and everything is clamping down, and I am orgasming, and I am, like he said, I was tight. So we went to, so he continued to fuck me, and I was having so much fun, and I recorded it for my husband. And then we sat around chatting, and then we went for a second round. Now, I go to bed super early during the week because, as I may have mentioned, I have to get up very, very early to handle all of the businesses that I am trying to run and all of the world that I am trying to conquer. Okay. So by about 10 o'clock, I was done. I was like, we're going to bed. And so we put the dogs away and we went to bed. And then the next morning when we woke up, it was again playtime with my husband, because we were lounging around in our bed and we were enjoying the fact that we had nowhere to be. And we were loving the fact that we were there snuggled in this bed with the fan blowing and snuggled down under the warm covers and just spending time with one another. And that, of course, led us to fucking. It was great. So when we were done, but that's basically how a lazy weekend should go. A lazy weekend should be so whatever you want it to be. Just letting the winds guide you. It was a truly epically awesome weekend, and for the rest of Sunday, I didn't do very much because I was tired, and, and I have a whole work week ahead of me, and this is the moment that I can take a deep breath and say, all right, let's recharge. I'm grateful for the life that I am leading, for the lifestyle that I am leading, for the events that I go to and the parties and the play dates. I'm grateful for all of it. But all of those things, make a weekend of unplanned so much sweeter, so much more enjoyable, so much more relief. I am grateful for those types of weekends that give me that opportunity to express my gratitude. I should just say that I'm grateful. I got an Instagram message from C, and she reads, let me just read it to you. I wanted to reach out and tell you how much I enjoy listening to your podcast. I'm also BBW. I'm having trouble having confidence and feeling sexy around other guys. I have a play date set up in a few weeks, and I have met him in social settings, so I know he's attracted to me. Any words of wisdom? Also, where do you buy your sexy lingerie? Keep up the great job. Always looking forward to hearing from you. Thanks. There's a couple different things in here. So I'm not really going to answer to the lingerie because I don't want to shout out anything that isn't around anymore. So the words of wisdom that I would say are just this. He's interested. You have nothing to worry about. He isn't looking at your body in the same critical way that you do. He sees womanly curves and beautiful battle scars while you see fat and stretch marks. It's time to let him enjoy what he sees while you just relax and enjoy the attention. Take a deep breath and think about him and let him do all the thinking about you. You're beautiful and sexy, and maybe you don't need to worry about him having a good time, and just think about having a good time for yourself. To which she replied, thank you. That's a great way to think about it. As a woman, I get stuck in the need to look like this or that instead of just being free to be and do something exciting. Thanks. I said, to which I replied, just remember, you're worrying about what he is thinking looking at you, and I will be frank, that isn't your business. You are kind in your thoughts about him, and he is the same about you. And that, I think, is so fucking important to reiterate. The way people look at you is far less judgmental than the way you look at yourself. The way people look at you is much kinder than the way you look at yourself. Now, especially Gen X, and I speak from experience because being Gen X, I can tell you that the playground was a fucking battlefield out there. It was bully central. And the things that you got bullied about as a child still haunt you. They still come back. They still, like, every once in a while, that one thing that one kid said about that one thing that once upon a time, I literally can't tell you how much you're going to hear the echoes and how much worse you are saying it to yourself than anybody's ever said it to you. And as an adult, you are not being judged nearly as much as you think you are. Okay? I don't know about you, but I walk around adulting all day long. And I have very little time to worry about like other people and what they're doing. Now, do I judge people who interact with me and are being completely imbecilic? Absolutely. Because I can't, that's my pet peeve. You have to be able to, you have to be smart. You have to talk to people in a way that proves okay. All right. People aren't judging you nearly as harshly as you were judging yourself. People are not saying the same narrative in their head that you are saying about yourself. And in the moment when, because I'll be honest with you, I am not gracing the cover of any fucking magazine anytime soon. I am not photo ready. And I don't care because I am not there to appeal to the masses. I am there to appeal to the room. And the room that I am in, the most attractive thing that I can be is confident. The most attractive thing I can be is in charge. Not doubting the fact that when you fuck me, we're going to have a good time. I know that. I own that. And my body was designed to do just that. It was designed for me to fuck and have a good time. And whether or not I have battle scars or whether or not I have womanly curves or the opposite is true, I'm fat and I have stretch marks, does not matter. Because in that moment, in that hazy darkness, there is nothing better than the feel of his cock sliding into my wet ass pussy. And there you go. Name a better sensation. Name a better sensation. And name a model on the cover of a magazine who's going to be able to make that feeling more intense than I've made it. The fact is that it is glorious when the lifestyle shows you that whether you are a size 2 or a size 22, whether you're short, whether you're tall, whether you are an A cup or a double E cup, it does not matter. The fact is that the sensation of two people finding that moment when their bodies slide together and it is new and it is novel and it is intriguing and there's somebody in the room who knows and is watching and is a little bit jealous and very turned on, and there's so much going on inside of that room. There is so much going on inside of that moment. And the way you look is never more important than the way that feels. I don't know if that's true for everybody. I honestly don't. Some people are very, very visual and they could not handle being with a woman like me. But if you have met this person and you know this person and you flirted with this person, then you know that there's nothing that you are going to reveal that is going to turn him away. So walk in worrying about nothing. Walk in being confident that you've got this, that it is going to be a wet ass pussy meets a hard throbbing cock, and it is going to make all of those moments, all of that anticipation, all of that lead up worth every moment when you guys slide together. That's just my thought, though. I am in the process of getting my husband and I both passports because we are, of course, always, I talk about it all the time, we're looking to travel and do lifestyle adventures and things like that. And I'm so excited because getting his passport, renewing my passport, is an opportunity for us to travel for kink. And traveling for kink is awesome. When we went to Vegas and we experienced what it was like to go to a Vegas party and experience a whole new crop of people who are very intimate with one another. And when you show up, you're the tropical fish in the goldfish tank. You are very much the anomaly. And it is so cool to be that anomaly. But at the same time, see the dynamic that was already there. See the dynamic that these people have created. The party atmosphere, the camaraderie, the kinship that has developed because these people are safe with one another and have developed their own language, their own nicknames, their own... It is, to me, probably some of the funnest type of play, because there's something so interesting about going into their tribe and joining it even for a small moment. Believe me when I tell you, I would love to go back to Vegas. I would love to go back and play at that party again, or a party like it again. Now, mind you, there is a lot of activity in Vegas. Vegas is one of those locations where there are so many hotel rooms that have swinger parties, and there are so many opportunities to join in with some swinger fun, because there are clubs dedicated to it. There's a lot of people who are living the lifestyle in the desert. And that to me is amazing, especially considering that since I live in a wasteland, I live in a zone between zones. It is awesome to see how in a thriving community, you have these little pockets of cellular communities where they go to other parties together and they meet new people kind of in a group. For me, there's something so very attractive about being welcomed in to a new environment. And that's the thing that a lot of people are scared of. When they talk about going to their first party, they're very intimidated. But I will tell you, don't think that there's ever been a community that I have been more welcomed into. There is no such thing as a barrier to entry. You are not, you are just one of the many, many people who have this bent, this passion, this intriguing idea of how to live a life. of how to be authentically you, how to enjoy the less socially acceptable side of life. I want to go to other countries and I want to see how other countries move past the societal norms and create community. I would love to explore. And that's kind of one of those things. I want to collect these adventures and these stories and see how other communities thrive. Because let's be honest, as soon as possible, I would like to leave the wasteland. I would like to find a place that I can go and feel free to explore. And, I don't know, there's a lot going on inside my head, but my husband and I aren't getting any younger, and there's going to come a time when we're going to want to retire. And one of the things that I want to retire to is a colder climate that I'm in right now, and someplace that has an active social calendar for kink life. I want to find a place that has snow and sex. I want to find a place that has a community that I can be a part of. It's one of the goals that and so my husband and I are actually going to be looking for those kinds of places that are lifestyle friendly and, but here's the thing. Just because something is lifestyle friendly right now does not mean that somebody's not going to come along and mess it up. Okay. I've talked about it before. I've talked about it ad nauseum, that there's a responsibility for everybody who is in the lifestyle to maintain the anonymity of the lifestyle to prevent it from being basically outlawed. Because I know that there's a community in, I think it was Delaware, that had a very thriving hotel life, that had a very thriving hotel lifestyle party scene. And then things got out of control and basically the hotels outlawed any sort of lifestyle party. And if there was a whiff of a lifestyle party, you were banned from the hotel kind of stuff. The thing is that there's responsibility to maintain the longevity of the lifestyle for everyone. Flaunting and doing crazier and crazier things because you're chasing a high is not what the lifestyle is about. Having fun and enjoying people in a hotel room is a lot different than fucking somebody in the elevator. That's just facts. That's just truth. And if you're chasing a high, then you need to consider what it is that you're actually doing. Because I go to party after party after party and I find something in each one of those parties to talk about. I'm never trying to top the last experience. I'm trying to be present in the experience I'm having. And some parties are a dud and some parties are magnificent. And I am never chasing a recreation of the magnificent. This is not, I don't think that this is an addiction for me because I'm not chasing. When you chase, that's when you need to start looking for the red flags. Okay? Now, I do have to say that there's another freaking holiday coming up where gifts are going to be expected. So if you have a loved one in the life that needs to be celebrated, check out privateadventures.net. They are a friend of the pod. And if you use Pineapple Pinup 10 to let them know that I sent you, good things will happen. Just saying. And know that it's okay to be risky and risque when it comes to gift giving. Just, it's okay. I'm giving you permission. Thank you for joining me today on the Pineapple Pinup, the Hot Wife Life podcast. I hope that you have gotten something out of it. If you have questions, have stories you'd like to share, have writings you'd like to share, please feel free to hit me up at pineapplepinuppod@gmail.com or on any one of my socials that are listed in the show's description.